Today, we're diving into a really important analysis that explains the massive structural changes AI is causing in the workforce. We're going to break down what's happening, why it's happening, and what it means for you.
So, let's start with a question that I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. We see these huge, profitable tech companies, and yet they're laying off thousands of employees. What is going on here?
Well, the report we're breaking down today puts forward a really compelling argument. It says this isn't your typical recession or economic downturn. No, this is something much deeper. It's a fundamental, AI-driven great restructuring of the entire economy.
And the sheer scale of this is, well, it's staggering. Just look at the numbers. As of the middle of 2025, we're talking about more than 130,000 tech employees laid off. This isn't just a blip on the radar. It's a continuous, widespread adjustment that's reshaping the entire global tech industry.
So how exactly is this restructuring happening? Well, it's literally changing the shape of companies from the inside out. What we're witnessing is the collapse of the traditional corporate pyramid that we've known for decades.
You know the model I'm talking about, right? For as long as we can remember, the standard company has been built like a pyramid. You have a wide base, and then multiple layers of middle management whose main job is to coordinate, communicate, and pass information up and down the chain.
But now, that pyramid is being replaced by something entirely different, what this report calls the barbell structure. And it's a perfect analogy. Think about a barbell. You have weight on both ends, but the middle is thin. That's exactly what's happening to the workforce. The middle is getting hollowed out as demand for talent shifts to two opposite ends of the spectrum.
So, let's look at the two ends of this barbell. On one side, you've got your top-tier strategic talent. These are your 100x engineers, your brilliant, creative problem solvers who figure out what to do and why. Then, on the complete other side, you have junior talent, but they're empowered with incredibly powerful AI tools. This means they can execute tasks with a level of efficiency that was unimaginable just a few years ago. And all those roles that used to sit in the middle, well, they're the ones being squeezed out.
And we can actually see this happening in the data. There's a trend called the Great Flattening. Check this out. The average number of employees per manager has literally doubled in just 5 years. Why? Because AI tools are now handling a lot of the coordination and reporting tasks that used to be the core job of a middle manager, allowing senior managers to oversee much larger teams.
Okay, so if the very structure of companies is changing, it follows that what it means to be a valuable employee is also changing, right? So what makes a person essential in this new world?
The analysis points to one single trait that is becoming more valuable than any other: agency. And what does that mean? It's the ability to not just wait for instructions, but to proactively identify problems, come up with solutions, and then take command of AI tools to actually drive business value. It's a huge shift from just being good at execution to being a driver of results.
There's a great quote in the report from someone in the industry that really sums this up. They said, "The era of we just need one more programmer is over." The point is, just being able to code or execute a technical task isn't the main bottleneck anymore. The focus has swung back to core business fundamentals. How do we get customers, and how do we make a profit?
And that directly leads to this next point. The skills that companies are desperate for now have shifted dramatically. It's no longer just about pure technical ability. The real value is now in these uniquely human skills, things like commercial acumen, persuasive communication, and deep market insight. These are the abilities that AI can help with, for sure, but it can't replicate them.
All right, this might all sound a little intimidating. So what does this actually mean for you and your career? The good news is, the report lays out a very clear, very strategic framework for how to adapt and really succeed in this new environment.
And it's really important to understand that this isn't a one-time change. You can't just take one course and be done. This is a multi-year transition, and the analysis breaks it down into 3 distinct phases. You need a strategy for the short term, the midterm, and the long term.
So let's start with the short term, the next 1 to 2 years. Your absolute #1 priority is to become an AI super user. What does that look like? Step 1, do a full audit of your own job. Go through your tasks systematically and figure out what can be automated or made more efficient with AI. Step 2, become an absolute expert in the key AI tools for your profession. The goal here is to multiply your own productivity and shift from being a simple doer to a high-impact contributor.
Okay, once you've done that, you move into the midterm phase, say 2 to 5 years out. Here, the strategy shifts. Now your focus needs to be on cultivating those core human skills we talked about, the things AI can't do. We're talking about complex negotiation,
leadership, building strategic relationships. And you combine that with becoming a true expert in your specific field. That combination allows you to see the bigger picture and ask the critical questions that an AI would never even think of.
And finally, we have the long-term view, 5 years and beyond. The report argues that ultimate career security will come from developing a true business acumen. You need to start thinking and acting like you're a business of one. That means really learning the fundamentals of sales, marketing, and finance, no matter what your job title is. And it means building a personal brand by becoming known as someone who provides real value and insight in your industry.
Okay, so we've talked about the individual and the organization. To wrap up, the report zooms out to look at the bigger picture, the systemic risks we face, and the strategic recommendations for society as a whole.
And this risk matrix is really telling. It lays out the major challenges we're facing. I mean, just look at workforce skills mismatch. It's rated as very high probability and high impact. That's a huge warning sign. You also see major risks like algorithmic bias in management decisions. The takeaway here is really clear. This transition is going to have some serious bumps in the road. So, based on all this analysis, the report leaves us with 3 powerful strategic recommendations. First, for us as individuals, we have to embrace a mindset of permanent self-reinvention. Your only true job security is your ability to adapt. Second, for organizations, it's time to rebuild for speed and agency by radically flattening those old pyramid structures. And third, for policymakers, the focus has to shift from trying to protect old jobs to building a new adaptive education system that prepares people for the future.
And that brings us to the final and I think most profound question posed by this analysis. It's something for every one of us to think about. In this new era, is your ultimate goal to simply remain an employee, or is it to become a one-person enterprise?